What is going on, guys? It's your boy Gear7. I'm back again with another video. And you guys may have watched the game between PSG and Liverpool FC. But I'm here to give my opinion on what I thought about the game overall. Now, I'm going to go right ahead and just pull up my phone and read the stats of the entire game. The key stats, to be more precise. Okay. Now, there was some 1% ball possession for one team against the other with 29%. 27 goal attempts versus 2. 10 shots on goal versus 1. 8 shots off goal versus another 1. 3 big chances versus 1. 14 corner kicks versus 2. 9 blocked shots versus 0. And the most important stat of all, no goal versus 1. Obviously, after going through that stat, you're going to be thinking, surely the team with the biggest stats overall had that one goal. But then again, you guys saw the game, so you guys already know who had the goal. But if I told you before tonight that Liverpool would be pummeled the way they were against PSG last night, yeah, it's already in the AM here, you guys will be surprised as much as I was. Now, here's the thing. After all that is said and done, Charlie was Slot actually warning the team of what to expect against PSG. Was this luck, or was it the tactical genius by the coach? My coach, Arne Slot. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to let you know what I think about the game overall. I'm going to try and highlight some key things where I typically like to go. Going to start from the goalie, from my end over to their end. Obviously, I might not remember every player on their pitch, but the way they attacked us, I'm pretty sure I'm going to remember at least 5 players in their squad, even more than that. But I'm going to go through it real quick. I'm going to let you know what I think. First of all, let's start. Man of our goal, Alisson Becker. Best goalkeeper in the world. 9 blocked shots. No easy feats. Not regular shots either. Of course, in the second half, there were a couple of shots out from distance, but there were a lot of clear chances. A lot of clear chances. One-on-ones, cut-ins, you name it. The only goal that went in was the offside goal. I didn't tell my boy to run back into space, sticking his foot out, but he did it anyways. And I said, my boy, yeah, you heard it. I love that guy quite scarily, man. That guy is a beast. He was relevant unknown. Was it 2 seasons ago or last season? 2 seasons ago, because we're in the Champions League last season. So 2 seasons ago, yeah. When we faced Napoli. And boy, the way the guy ruffled Trent and most of our defenders, I didn't forget that guy, man. I didn't forget the guy. I was hoping Liverpool would get it one day. And with all that flirting in January, although it was already said and done that PSG were the clear favorites, he did go to PSG in the end. But tonight he proved why I actually liked guy as a player. Of course, he wasn't the only one that actually turned up, or tried to turn up anyways. We had Dembele as well. We had a Kohler, the front three, all leg of us specialists, just giving it to us, okay? But there was a lot of things that was actually wrong with my team. A lot of things that actually pissed me off. A lot of things that kind of gave PSG the galvanization that they needed. Now, we already spoke about Alisson. Trent was solid in defense. Stuck to his tasks. Ushered ball out. Kicked ball against the Kohler. Marked him as best as he could. But then again, you can't always put him down 100%. We're just going to be decent. Every player that goes up against that guy is going to struggle. And for a player that plays in Ligue 1, where they're typically dominant, that momentum is always going to build up for that team. And they're always going to show out every time they have a chance. And that's why I actually had a major problem with the new format, in that winning the group, still getting a team like that, that was utterly ridiculous. Now, let's go on to the next one. Konate and Pierce at the back. Always ready to cover for the back. But a lot of people are going to remember one particular incident. The so-called foul. Okay? I'm calling it so-called foul for two reasons. One for and one against. In my opinion, every time Konate has performed that foul, I'm just clutching, onto straws and hoping that nothing bad happens. Ref doesn't flash a red card or something, doesn't call it a foul, pen, whatever kind of stuff that may have happened in the past. But on the other hand, like I said before, every time, meaning he's not done it once, not done it twice, and I call it Konate tackle. He leans against you, but his power looks like as if he's pushing you off, and then you feel tempted to fall rather than hold your ground. Then it looks like it's 50-50. Soccer after is a contact spot. And then you think, oh, he's going to get it. But then the ref is like, nah, you're good. Now, if it was against my team, I'd probably be pissed off for sure. But, that was pretty much not a game changer. Could have been some sort of relief for PSG to actually at least ensure they got a goal. But then, who was the man of the match? It was not a striker. It was not a midfielder. It wasn't a defender. It was the goalie. Best goalkeeper in the world. Ready to stop whatever ball comes his way. And that's where I'm getting to when it comes to whether you want to call it luck or you want to call it masterclass. Okay? But we're going to get to the answer in a bit. Going across, Van Dijk, imperious as ever, commanding the back line. Make sure everyone is safe. But for some times, I didn't know where the guy was, man. Like, sometimes when you see the guys have gone through, like, yo, where is Van Dijk? How is it so far off? And there was this one time it was so confused, it just kind of went to the middle of the goal post. But anyone would be confused with the way the onslaught was going on there. Man City heard it. Arsenal know about it. So, it was pretty much a tough game. And at the other end, Robertson, I think he got the biggest piece of the pie from that team. It was ran ragged. He tried his best. He did steal the ball sometimes. It was great. But he also seemed like the weakest link, surprisingly, where people say, Trent is the weakest defender in our team. And now, this is no fault of Robertson at all. He's growing older, maybe losing some legs, whatever. But he's not someone I'm ever going to criticize, ever. By the color as I see it, he did get passed a couple of times. But then again, it was Dembele. It was Kvaratskhelia. Sometimes the color on the other side. Those guys are beasts. Those guys are rough landing defenders. So, big up my guy for actually stepping it up. Still, keeping that clean shit because you did that. Now, this is where I feel like I had the biggest problem, the midfield. I don't know if they were just overwhelmed by the occasion. I don't know if they just weren't ready. But it's one thing I've actually noticed with Liverpool. I don't know if I said it already in this video, but whenever we have enough time to relax, be it, international breaks, just a week off, whatever, we seem just a little bit disjointed. And it showed today. There was no cohesiveness. One of our biggest strengths is being able to retain the ball regardless of how high press you throw against us. But this time around, we're losing the ball like crazy. We're defending, we're getting the ball off them, we're tackling, which is where I'm getting to the next player, but we're throwing it away real quick. Gravenberch epitomized that. Every time he sticks his leg out, he get the ball. Every time it takes two steps, the ball is off him. It was an off night for Gravenberch, but then again, he's been playing all through the season. So maybe he's just starting to get tired. And Endo's in. More than able deputy. But Gravenberch's still together. You want to have playing week in, week out. So hopefully he gets his mojo back before the second leg. Before the weekend. 3 points is important. We need to close out the league as quickly as possible so we can focus on the Champions League. And now, going to the next one. McAllister, his gritty self, always chasing everything, always trying to get things going. Even the one who actually pointed and told, Alisson to throw that ball over. Fernandes did the rest. But did give away possession, did not hold down midfield, was part of the trio that struggled against theirs. So he struggled in my book. Szoboszlai, the one guy who would never stop running, all over the place. Duracell, machine bunny, whatever you want to call him. But still, whenever he had the ball, same story goes. Just like the other two compatriots, struggled to get any rhythm with his passes. And now we come to the front three. I'm going to start with the easiest, which is Luis Diaz. In my opinion, from the starters, was the best of the three because he was putting some defensive shit. But then he did that stupid tackle again. That stupid tackle that I always complain about every time. That looks so obviously much of a foul. Luckily for us, I don't think I was actually scared of PSG when it came to the set pieces. I'm not sure they have any recognized free kick ticket that can actually threaten. Of course, they might score the odd goal, but like, they're no Trent, they're no Messi, they're no, who else is pretty good at set pieces that you got? Even Bruno, yeah, as much as a Man U fan, I would still call it out as it is. They're decent set piece stickers, but PSG don't have a very recognized one. So that wasn't where I was worried about, but still, Diaz did that funny foul. He needs to be careful with that. Offensive wise, he had a chance that Salah had to pass ball to. We're getting to Salah. But Salah did not do anything productive from the assist portion. From the assist end. And we're going to get to that properly. Otherwise, he just tried his best. Or just industrious at best. Jota, second to the worst. Not far from Salah. The reason why I say second to the worst is because he was the outlet, supposed outlet. Got almost had a chance to keep things cool. He could have retained the ball, could have tried to move forward. But he didn't show pace, he didn't show guile. And he lost the ball quite easily. And he is my boy. I love Jota, man. Yeah, he's one of my boys, But he seems to be off in the past 2 games. And I think it could be attributed to the injury that he's just coming back from. So we're going to give him a chance, obviously, recoup. And hopefully, in the second leg, he's able to do better. And then there's Salah. It was just off. Mendes had him, which is kind of weird. Which is where we're coming to with the masterclass from Arne Slot. Now, going back to what I was trying to say before, Salah had a nice chance to put a ball through to Luis Diaz. Failed on that. Hey, it happens. Never stops Salah from doing his assist in the end. Another chance he had where the ball was about to go out, but then he ricocheted back to him. He had a chance to just sort of rotate the ball, retain possession, and he just tried to cross it straight back and just kind of went to the keeper. Waste. And of course, the most obvious one, Nunes, Speedy Gonzalez, just right about going through. And all he had to do was just to create one of these numerous perfect passes. When I'm talking about a guy who passes the ball and then flukishly just kind of gets to the person, he's been doing it all season. The one time he needed to do it, he failed. Didn't even get past the defender. And I guess that kind of summed up his day. So, let's go on to PSG and their bunch of army knives that they had out there. We already mentioned the front three. This guy did their stuff. Did help us score. They really ran out of tricks after a while. Hakimi always should come to join him up. That's another person I'm going to mention out there. So that's 4 players. Vitinha, he busted midfield, but it was kind of frustrating to watch. Not because he was doing it effectively, but because the Liverpool players were not pressing him at all. They gave him so much space. Now, I don't know if it's because they think he got so much of a, ball holder that he will probably just, messed him up or whatever. But he just didn't push up forward. And I think it was all over the park, so I'm not going to just attribute it to just being scared of him or whatever. Ruiz tried his best as well. Felipe Ruiz tried to, do his typical, integrate play and then try and shoot the ball. But no luck. And of course, there's one more person in the midfield as well that completed the trio, did well as well. They couldn't get the ball off him. But we'll go to the back. Marquinhos marshalling the defense, held Nunes back in that first attempt like a pro before Donnarumma was trying to do like a crybaby with just some little touch. And of course, it's Mendes who actually did his job against Salah. And that is where we're going to try to do the segue to the subs. Okay. Nunes on first. And of course, Harvey Elliott. With that less than a minute, probably 40-something seconds, coming into the game, providing the winner for the first leg. I'm not going to act ignorant and act like there's no other game. There's still another game, so important as the first one. We have to assume we haven't scored it all. Play carefully. Let's not soak under the pressure again. We need to go on the front foot at Anfield. Going to Nunes. And, of course, Curtis Jones, other sub. Curtis Jones. That guy, you think he hasn't played since forever. He's been playing since as young as I can remember. He's only just 23, I believe. Boy, that guy, I don't know any better ball holder than that guy. This guy was jogging the ball against a team that was dominating the midfield when he came on. Solid player. He just needs to be consistent. But let's get to the key man, the main man from an attacking perspective. My man, the man I actually need to address properly, and not just because of today's game, but I've been saying it all season long. Darwin Núñez. He came up and he showed up. Okay, manager has called him out in the past 2 games, and I saw it. I didn't say in the first one that he was called out, but the second one he was called out, I noticed after he missed a shot against, who did we draw against? Aston Villa. After I missed the shot against Aston Villa, his head just kind of went down and it wasn't his usual running self. I saw him just walking by. Give me that moment of Trent last season when he was just walking like a dead Scully around the pitch. And it looked like his energy was just down. But he's back. He's been back for a bit. But there's still something that needs to be addressed by the player. I'm going to talk about this in a different video. But he came up, won his duels. The only striker to win his duel. And then laid it on the plate for man, Harvey Elliott. Now here's the thing. A lot of people will say, hey, the difference was just Elliott was there. Salah could have done the same thing too. And let me even give you guys one better. Would have slot the ball at the back of the net much better than the effort that Elliott did. But that's where we're coming to when we talk about this whole lock versus tactical genius. We talked about one. Analyzing the first half, calming down the nerves, coming out in full blast. The second half, Elliott for Salah, and here's why it's important. Number one, if you guys can remember the goal, okay, the time when Núñez was actually dueling for that ball, and when he got it and put it, and he trapped it with that, finesse, control, and all that kind of stuff. Elliott was not within sight on the screen. Just go watch it again. He literally had to run and blaze past. Now, maybe if Salah was there, he may have been a little bit tired. He probably would have thought, he's going to go for the shot himself. And he probably would have gone there. And Núñez would probably have to take the shot himself. And maybe he would score. Maybe he would miss, right? But the thing is, Salah probably wouldn't have scored that goal. Because he probably may have made it. Maybe he would have made it and Bodie would have been too tired to do a proper shot. Maybe he would have scored it. But here's the second part that's very important. Even if Salah had made that whatever, Mendes would have been much more sharper knowing Salah was there than Elliott. When I talk about Elliott, probably thinking this is a confused guy who doesn't know his spot between attacking midfield and right winger, and probably just think he's not a threat. That's why the fact that he scored 3 goals already in Champions League. Well, including today, 2 goals prior to today. And that is this season. We're not talking about just overall. But having to have Elliott in that position shut down Mendes' focus and focus on the only threat he thought was left, which is Darwin. And of course, Darwin with that control, that pass. And like I said, Elliott nearly missed it. Now we get to the next point. Tactical genius, or is it luck? Look at all the saves that Alisson made. None of them were as weak a chance as what Elliott had provided. Elliott played it towards the goalie. But Donnarumma, the one superstar as a key goalkeeper, taller than most other goalkeepers you ever find in the world, let that ball in. This is down to personnel. If Alisson was on the end, Liverpool wasn't getting that win, that goal. If Alisson was on the end, we probably have considered 4, 5, 6. I don't know what not. We're really bad. But in the end, I've mentioned all this tactical, points. I mentioned all these personnel that kind of matter and made the difference in the game. But to answer the question, from my own perspective, it was not luck. I know it wasn't skill. This was more than luck. This was a blessing. This is what I would call a miracle. So, if you guys want to actually point it on one against the other, maybe you want to point towards luck. But I believe it was more than that. Because luck is not going to put any other team across the line in that situation. And now we look forward to welcoming them at Anfield. And I'm hoping that the real Liverpool turns up. Because if we try this again, oh man, it's going to be tough to watch. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say we're going to lose because we are resilient, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough night. But here's the thing. We've had a similar situation with PSG in the past. When we faced them in the group stage while Mbappe was there. Of course, they're a much better unit now that Mbappe is gone. Because obviously now there's no prima donna personnel on the pitch anymore. Everyone's just even, which is great for a team. When they came to our home, we showed them who's boss. When we went to their home, they gave us a tough time, but we stuck it up too. But the way they dominated us, we need an answer against Sunderland the weekend. And we need to build our momentum and take it over to them on Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday we're going to play them, right? We play Wednesday, so we're going to be Tuesday the following week. We need to annihilate those guys. We need to put them in their place. We need to remind them, after all, that had been said against our team, saying that comparing us to Lille. And of course, playing us like they were playing Lille too, which is kind of crazy. We need to make it up. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much my opinion on the game. That's my thoughts here. Let me know what you guys think about the game overall. I'm sure a lot of you watch it. Doesn't matter whatever team you support. It was pretty much the biggest game of the night. Of course, Bayern played Leverkusen. That's an all-German tie. It's nothing new. Plus Bayern is one that's dominating that league right now, I believe. And of course, there's Barcelona versus Benfica. Tricky tie, but everyone probably thought Barcelona was going to win that one, and they did. And there was Inter Milan and Feyenoord. Inter Milan's going to go through. That's just a no-brainer. And that is just for tonight's games. But our game was the biggest of the bunch in the entire round of 16. We need to win this. It's your boy Greer 7. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Put your thoughts down below. Or otherwise, just root for Liverpool. Peace.